UConn and injuries. It seems like it's always a topic of conversation. My last video on AZ Fudd was if she would play again this season. I was surprised about the number of comments I got after posting the video, which were supportive of the idea of AZ not playing again this season. In this video, I'm going to be looking at if UConn is a good place for the injury-prone player, specifically, obviously, Fudd, Ducharme, and Paige Bueckers. Earlier in the season, I did a video on Paige Bueckers suggesting that she might be better off skipping her senior season and then playing overseas during the winter prior to starting her WNBA career, although some agreed, most did not. I still think this would be the best option for her. Actually, with a slight modification, I think she should actually declare for the 2023 WNBA draft, then go on injured reserve so she can start accruing time towards free agency. In the interim, I think she should go somewhere like P3 or some other sports conditioning program just to work on her body prior to playing overseas in Europe or Australia during the winter. My reasoning for this is twofold. First, I think it would be best if she took 18 months to recover from her ACL injury and really take time to build her body to give her the best chance to avoid injuries in the future. I think something like P3 or some other program like that where they take a deep dive biomechanically and get you as sound as possible would offer her the best chance to have a long and healthy future playing basketball. My other reason, which many did not like, is I think actually leaving UConn would be a good thing for her and potentially players that are injury prone. Now, this sounds like shade towards UConn, and it's not really. I think UConn has good intentions, but overall, I think collegiate programs struggle to look at players' futures as they're focused on the now. In the heat of competition, I think it can be hard for a coach to make the best choice for the player's long-term health and not be more focused on getting the win. You might disagree, but I think these two comments by Geno Auriemma demonstrate this. First was made by Auriemma after Bueckers rolled her ankle in 2021 versus Xavier. Listen to his comments.
Paige's ankle, it was sort of a strange play. No one was around her, but she went back in. She's obviously okay.
Yeah, she went to throw a pass, and when she stepped, she just rolled it. So it wasn't anything that anybody did or anything happened. She just stepped wrong, and it just turned. And she came out, and I asked her if she'd be ready for the NCAA tournament, and she said, I can't tell you what she said. So I put her back in.
Wise decision, as she nailed that three the first time she touched the ball, right?
Yeah.
Now, those comments weren't outrageous or anything way over the top, but I do cringe a bit as, isn't it up to the coach to protect the player from themselves? Instead of looking at into her eyes, and trying to get a feel of what she wants to do, get the trainer to check out her ankle. Players want to play. Ultimately, Geno was right. Bueckers did play in the NCAA tournament, and then after the season, she wound up getting ankle surgery, and she made a full recovery. The other comment that Geno Auriemma made was in regards to Caroline Ducharme in the post-game interviews after her first game back versus Creighton. Now, Auriemma praised Ducharme for her toughness and how she played through neck and headaches all season due to her upper back tightness. Ducharme was returning after concussion, so she was in, I guess, the concussion protocol, if you call it, and was put on a minutes restriction by the training staff. Listen to Auriemma talking about this.
Was she on a minute restriction today, or was it just how she felt?
Yeah, she was on a minute restriction. I don't know what it was because I stopped listening when they said she's in a minute restriction. So whatever they said, I don't remember. How many she had?
19 and a half. It was 20.
10. They said 10 each half. I got it right on the button. I wasn't trying to, believe me. If we were going into overtime, she was playing the whole 5 minutes.
Now, that's not real great. Essentially, he's saying, screw the minutes restrictions given to me by the training staff who have treated and managed her injuries. If we go into overtime, then I'm playing her. Now, that's the real problem with college sport, as a lot of times coaches have unbelievable power, especially college coaches who have had success. And now Geno has had unbelievable success, which makes him almost a god on campus and someone that it's hard to challenge. If Geno wants to put Ducharme back into play in overtime, is anybody really going to stop him? Is somebody in the training staff going to say, no, we can't do that? Now, in the next game versus Villanova, Ducharme took a shot to the head. At the end of the game, is Villanova's Maddie Siegrist caught her with a forearm, like at the 4:35 mark left in the fourth. She goes to the bench, and she looks absolutely miserable. Now, looking at the replays, I don't think it was that hard of a shot. I think more she got the bridge of her nose, and that makes your eyes water when that happens. But I was surprised that she returned to the game at the 2:28 mark, and she looked fine. But I was surprised that they didn't take her back and do the whole concussion protocol testing, or somebody in the training staff wasn't next to her sort of the whole time while she was on the bench. Maybe they did this during the timeout and the TV didn't catch it. I'm not sure. And again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying UConn or Auriemma has done anything wrong. UConn is focused on winning, and a large part of this is due to Geno pushing players to their ultimate limits. I mean, Suberg talks about this as she describes Geno as a pusher.
He's a pusher, and he pushes you to places that you didn't know existed. But that's when you figure out what you're made of.
But overall, what I wonder is if Fudd, Bueckers, and Ducharme, would they be better off playing somewhere else? Would this give them the best chance to have long and healthy careers? I guess essentially what I'm saying is Auriemma too old school. What do you think? Do you think I imagine, am I just a snowflake and just too soft and too willing to embrace the modern athlete and their aches and pains? Or do Geno's comments make you a bit uncomfortable? Or is it clear that he's joking and I'm just taking him too literally? Anyway, have your say. Please leave your comments below. Your poison. Everything's welcome. Everybody has an opinion. Please feel free to share it.